Hello, Universe Darlings. So today I'm letting you in my kitchen and I'm going to be cooking beef flautas. So I'm going to be cooking this HelloFresh recipe. So follow along, and if you'd like to cook your own, you can just simply follow along with me or just watch for entertainment. So let us begin. I'm going to start making dinner now. It's about 6 p.m. right now. So that's a good time where I usually start to cook dinner every day. Well, I don't cook every day, but yeah. So it starts off asking me to adjust the rack to the middle position. Don't mind my dirty oven. I really need to scrape the inside, but on 425 Fahrenheit, turn the light on and preheat it. Now it is asking me to line one baking sheet with aluminum foil. I happen to have a Tahari baking sheet. It lasts a long time. It's very good. All right, so let's whip out the foil. I love a good Reynolds wrap. It's very thick and sturdy. So just kind of lay it flat here. Be careful not to cut your fingers accidentally. All right. And my trick, I don't really have a brush like that, like a silicone brush, but I get a drizzle of oil. All right. Then I get a paper towel like this, and I just rub the oil in it. Evenly spread, just like that. Now I'm being asked to wash and dry my produce. Only produce I really have to wash and dry here is this little tomato. And yes, I do have to dry my produce, as funny as it sounds, because I'm on a septic and well, so I'm not supposed to consume the water coming out of the sink. But that's pretty much it. I usually never wash the onion, but let's continue. It's asking now that I have peel and eventually thinly slice my onion. This is a very small onion. And HF just recently increased their prices, which I'm not too happy about, but you know, I do like the convenience. Not having to think about dinner half the week is kind of nice. I order about 3 meals a week, so I like to get these little ends off first. Get that out the way. And then I thinly slice my onion. Always make sure you curl up your fingers before slicing. I learned that the hard way long ago. All right. And then it says mince a few slices until you have about 1 tablespoonful, which is approximately that much. So I'm going to mince it. If you mess up, it's okay, but I do have a tablespoon measure. This is about 1, give or take 1 tablespoon right here. Now it is asking me to heat a drizzle of oil in a large pan over medium-high heat. And then I'm going to add the sliced onion. And then I'm going to cook it for approximately 3 minutes time. And then once you have a nice kind of semi-brown color on the sides, you're gonna get the beef. That's my timer, I apologize. And then the Southwest Spice blend. And then you're gonna cook it for another 4 to 6 minutes. Just make sure you have the air blowing, the door open, and the fan on, otherwise your whole house is gonna smell. You set that timer, and then you cook, breaking up the meat into pieces. As many little chunks as possible. smells delicious. If it starts to get a little too intense, you can feel free to lower the heat on medium. That will be good enough too. So when you have about 30 seconds left, I will start going in with the Tex-Mex paste. You can also find that in the store, I believe. And then 1/3 of a cup of water. And then you let that simmer. You mix that in for about 2 to 4 minutes more. I'm sorry, I have to speak very loud so you can hear me over all the noise. If it starts boiling too quickly, you just lower the heat. There's nothing wrong with that. And make sure your energy is right. You know, you gotta put good energy in your food. You know, have a positive attitude. If you think you're gonna cook bad, the food will end up bad. So it helps, like, play some music or something in the background to kind of get your spirits up, so you put good energy in the food. So I'll set that timer now and let that simmer down a bit. If you're doubting your creation, just check, is it too runny? Is it too much oil? Is it too much liquid? Then that means you need a little bit more time. So just keep waiting, keep stirring, keep being patient until it's ready. So as I'm mixing, I'm starting to notice that it's less liquidy and oily, so that's when I'm gonna lower the heat and just let it sit down for a minute. So in the meantime, I'm being asked to drizzle the tortillas with 1 tablespoon of olive oil. First, make sure all your tortillas are separated, my friends, because let me tell you, you don't want to end up in a sticky situation. No pun intended, but intended. Okay, so get your olive oil, get your tablespoon. You can either brush or rub it in. I'm gonna rub it in because I like to get a little messy. So coat all the tortillas completely with this oil. Don't be afraid to really get in there. Get your hands all sticky. Make sure, of course, you wash your hands, of course. But just completely rub it because this will help to cook the tortilla. Okay. So once all sides of your tortillas are completely and entirely coated with this oil, then you simply go ahead and add a 1/4 cup of filling to each side of the tortilla, then sprinkle with a tablespoon of Mexican cheese. So that's exactly what I shall go ahead and do. I'm gonna go ahead and use this cutting board to work with, one by one. Get that heap of meat on one side, just like that, and get a little bit more, to be a little generous with my meat. And the cheese, you can measure by finger. You have to roll it up, starting with the filled side here to create these flautas. And then the seam side down goes on the prepared baking sheet. So you don't pinch it on the corners. I just do to protect the meat in there, to keep it in there, I mean, just like that. But this side down, straight on the baking sheet. Like this, okay? Exactly like that. So make sure you have everything ready. So I'm gonna do that demo one more time, just as an example. Get a good chunk of scoop of meat, and you can measure out approximately 1/6 of your batch of meat and onion. Put that on the flauta. Sprinkle that cheese in there. Making sure not to do too much in excess. Then roll that up. Hug it, kind of hug and tuck the meat under the tortilla like this. And it will kind of glue itself on. You don't really need to try too hard. It will just kind of stay on there. And make sure you have about an inch of space in between. Some of the beef fell out, so I'm eating it. An inch of space between so that there's plenty of room to cook that thing. So I'll just keep doing this and I'll be right back. So now that it is done, this is how it should look like. And it says to bake on the middle rack for 8 to 12 minutes. Now it says while the flautas bake in the oven, to just go ahead and finely dice the tomato. So I'm just gonna go ahead and slice it in as many little tiny pieces as I possibly can. There's no right or wrong way to go about this. Every tomato is shaped differently. You do what works best for you. Okay? But I hope these instructions were clear and they help you make your flautas wonderfully. And if you want, you can go ahead and show me how they came out. I look forward to seeing, and maybe you eat with me. I'm definitely gonna do a taste testing at the very end. So I'm gonna, in a small bowl, combine the diced tomato now, the minced onion, that tablespoon we set aside earlier. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit more because I do like onion. And then you season it with salt. And then you stir it up. So I'm gonna just kind of mix it by hand. I usually use a spoon, but I forgot to get one. But my hands are clean, I promise. So you set that aside. Okay, the timer of 8 minutes just beeped. So let's see how they look. Nice and golden brown shell. Looks a little stiff, so that's the right amount of preparation for it, and all the excess oil dripped out, which is very nice. So that's how I know that they're ready. So now I have the flautas here. They look fabulous. I'm gonna go ahead and put the pico de gallo, which is the mixture combo of onion and tomato. I personally don't eat tomatoes anymore because I have GERD, but I'm just putting it for show. And then the red pepper crema drizzled on top, glazed over the flautas, kind of like a sauce for dipping. This might have a little kick to it, just because of the Tex-Mex, the Southwest spice, and the red pepper crema. But other than that, it shouldn't be too spicy. Should be okay for most people to enjoy. So I'm gonna go ahead and taste test it now and see how it came out. Alrighty, let's see how these beef flautas came to be. Let's see. It's good. I like it. I think it came out just right, in my honest opinion. You might want to let it cool down, because anything in a pocket like this, like a burrito or a taquito, will be very spicy and hot. Cheesy. Nice and cheesy. So I'm definitely gonna enjoy this. I hope you enjoy. And let me know if you want more recipe food eating videos like this one from me. See you guys.